Every time a client books a call, you should be onboarding them automatically. In this video, I'll show you how to build a simple two-node automation inside of N8N using Calendly and Airtable that kicks off the moment somebody books a meeting with you. It captures their info, then creates a client record in your CRM and will build it in under 10 minutes. No tech headaches, no manual follow-ups. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to make this even more powerful with an automated, personalized welcome email that makes every client feel like you built this just for them. I'm going to walk you through every click step by step so you can have this live today. I've grown my AI agency to over $10,000 a month, and I've sold my automations to thousands of customers. If you want to get access to the automation that we build today, I'll leave a link in the description where you can join the community where I teach people how to build AI businesses starting from zero, even if you're not technical. So before we get into building our automation inside of N8N, I just wanted to give you a high level overview so you can see the full picture and just how simple this really is. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up Calendly so that anytime somebody books a meeting with us, it's going to trigger our automation inside of N8N. And then from there, it's just going to take our client details like their name, their email, and then any more information we're going to need for the call. And it's going to store that information inside of our CRM tool, which today we're going to be using Airtable, which has a great free tier. Then, like I said, as a bonus, I'm going to show you how we can actually use ChatGPT or AI to write a personalized email to them and then actually send that email out. So now that we understand the flow, let's hop over to my favorite automation platform, N8N, to get started. So after you've created an account with N8N, just use your name or email. You know how to create an account by now. This is what you're going to be looking at. And all you got to do is go up here and we're just going to create a brand new workflow. And the first thing we're doing here is we're creating our first step. And this first step is called a trigger. It is a thing that triggers the rest of the automation. It's the first thing that we do. So we just need to click the big plus button in the center and search for Calendly because that's the first thing that we're going to do. What's really cool is that Calendly has a great integration with N8N that can be triggered automatically without you having to do anything. So we just want to select on event created. And this means anytime somebody triggers this event, it's going to trigger this automation that kicks off the rest of the flow. So we're going to select event created. Now we're going to cover a couple of really important concepts today. This is great if you're a beginner, and one of them is how do you connect N8N to your other platforms? So the first thing we're going to do is we need to connect our Calendly account. What's really great is that N8N actually has some pretty awesome documentation. So you can always go up here and click Docs to get information on how to kick things off. I've already been through this process, so I'm going to show you how to do it. What you're going to do here is go to Credential to connect with, and we're going to do Create New Credential. And the OAuth 2 is the recommended method, and you can see we need a couple of things. We need the client ID and the client secret. So what we also need to do is we need to come over to developer.calendly.com and create a developer account. It's really easy. You literally just need to sign in with your account that you use for your meetings. So if we come over here, we can go to Login or Sign Up. I'm just going to go ahead and log in with my Google account. And then from here, we need to create a new application. So I'm just going to click Create New App, and we can just go ahead and we can call this N8N Test. The kind of app is going to be web. The environment type is sandbox. And then we need the redirect URI. This is coming from over here. You can see this is called OAuth redirect URL. So we're just going to click this to copy. We can come back into the apps. We can paste this in here, and we can click Save and Continue. That's how easy this is to set up. All we need to do now is copy our client ID, come back over here, paste in our client ID. We need to copy our client secret, which we can copy from here, come back into N8N and paste in our client secret. And we can call this Calendly Onboarding. Go ahead and click Save. Great, so we've successfully created our credential, and now all we need to do is connect the account, and we just click this big button that says Connect My Account. Come over here, we're going to click Connect Calendly. You can see it already recognizes the name of our app. Connect to Calendly. Connection successful, and that's it. We have successfully connected everything to Calendly. Super, super easy. This is awesome. So we can come back in here. It's always good to name our automation. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this Calendly Onboarding and click Save. And now what we need to do is we need to set up our event inside of Calendly itself. And if you've used Calendly before, you're probably really familiar with this. These are some events that I have, but we can go ahead and we can create a new meeting, right? So just go ahead, sign into your Calendly account, go into scheduling here, and we're just going to click create. And we can create a one-on-one meeting. Click one-on-one, and we can just call this N8N test, duration 30 minutes, choose the location that you want, our availability, and I like to go into more options here. And this is a really great opportunity for you to collect any information from your clients that you might need. So if you go to this invitee form, you can go ahead and you can see which types of questions we are asking, right? And so right now, I just have, please share anything that will help prepare for our meeting. So this is where a person can leave an information about themselves, their company, their automation needs, whatever. You can click here to add more questions if you want. And right now, I'm happy with just having the one question, but of course, you can add as many as you want here. The goal with clients and generally these forms is like you want to create the least amount of friction as possible. So really, the less questions, the better. It's way more likely that somebody's going to book a call with you, the less work they have to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And we have a brand new meeting type created. Very, very cool. So we can already begin to test out the system, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do just to show you how this works is that we can actually already switch this to an active scenario. So by flipping this toggle, this means that N8N is going to be listening for any new event created. You can see we've activated the workflow. This is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this meeting link here and I'm going to open up a new incognito window so I can be like pretend to be a client, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click this. We're going to N8N test, and I'm just going to book a time with myself. So for Monday, let's say at 10 a.m., and I'm just going to name myself, Todd Frank or something, and let's be Todd Frank at toddiscool.com. And then please share anything that will help prepare for our meeting. I need some sweet automations. Cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and click schedule event. This was really, really easy to set up. Our event is scheduled, Todd. That's great. And now what's cool is if I come back over to N8N and I can go into the executions tab, and we can see here that we already have an execution that has succeeded. If we open this up, you can see we have the email, we have the date created. We can come in here, we can see the answers to the questions. So this is already working. Super, super cool. And so now we can do this. We can just click copy to editor. And so we can have this data saved to kind of trigger the rest of the flow with. And so what I would actually probably do here is Calendly is going to execute anytime somebody books any kind of meeting with you. And so I have all of these different meeting types. And what we want to do is like, we only want this automation to kick off, like if somebody has booked like this onboarding meeting. And I probably should have called this onboarding, but I think you get it, right? Like we can go ahead here and we can edit this. And instead of N8N test, like, why don't we just call this onboarding? Cool. So what we can do here is we can just hit plus and I can say if. So now I can open this up, and over here, this is all of the information that we're getting from Calendly. And what we really need down here is this event type. And so I can just drag this in here and I can say if event type is equal to, and we don't have our name that gets pulled in here, our onboarding name, but this is the actual ID of the event, the C916, whatever, right? And so if I come into the schema view, which is actually like a little bit easier to read, I can just scroll down to find that all the way down here to the event type, and I can literally just go ahead and copy and paste this. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to paste this in here. And so I can come in here, and I can just change this from is equal to, I can come into string, and I can say contains this number. If I click execute step, we can see here now that this is past this to the true branch. This means that this is the event we are looking for. If it has any other number associated with it, it's just going to go to this false branch and nothing's going to happen. And if you want to make that really clear, what's actually kind of funny is that you can actually have a node that's called do nothing, and literally it just does nothing, but it's like kind of like a funny like visual cue just so you know exactly what's happening. So now we have all the data we need, and I'm going to build in what's kind of an optional step, but it actually helps you clean things up. So I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to type in set. And this is how we set data. This is how we define certain variables, right? So I'm just going to come in here and basically there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that we have. One, of course, I want the email, right? I need this person's email, and we can just go ahead and say email. I can also scroll down here and I can drag in this name and I can just go ahead and call this full name. And if I want, I can drag this in one more time actually, and I can just pull out the first name. So let me show you how to do that. First name. Because now for later on, when we want to write our email, we just want to say like, hey, Todd. I don't want to say, hey, Todd, Frank, right? So I can come in here. I can type in dot split. You can just click this here. gives you the 2 parentheses. And if you go in and you do single apostrophe and you do space, now you can see here we've split it at the space, so between Todd and Frank. If you come outside the parentheses, you can type bracket. You can just insert the 0, which means we're going to grab the first item. So Todd. If I want to grab Frank, I would just hit 1 to grab just the last name, right? So here we just want the first name, Todd. Super cool. That's great. The other thing we want to do is we just want to pull in their answer. So we can say like needs or something like that. Like, what are your needs? Or is there anything else I should know, right? And this guy says, I need some sweet automations. Cool. And again, you could do question 1, question 2, question 3, pull in as much information as you need. I think that's actually all we need to put into our CRM. Great. And we can just right click this and we can just say set data. And this is just kind of a nicer way to keep things a little bit more organized. So the next thing we do is we just need to connect this up to Airtable. So I'm going to go ahead and click the plus. I'm going to search for Airtable and go ahead and click this. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to create a record. And again, N8N has great documentation. So if you open up the docs, you can go ahead and get access to these API Airtable credentials right here. So this will tell you exactly step by step how to create your personal access token. So if we come into Airtable, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up in here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Builder Hub. What you want to do is just come into the side panel and go to Personal Access Tokens. And we can create a token. And we can name this Onboarding, just like everything else. And if we go back to the documentation, we can see we need data, read and write, and the schema bases read. So come back in here, add a scope. We want to go data, records, read, add a scope, data, records, write. And if we go to add a scope, we want to be able to read the bases. Awesome. What we can do is we can just click add all resources, and this will just add all current and future bases and all current and future workspaces. Great. We never have to change this again. This is awesome. So I'm just going to click create a token. Our token has been created. Copy this, come back into N8N, and we can go in here and go to create new credential. We can just paste in our access token, go ahead and call this onboarding, and click save. This says, great, credential successfully created. Awesome. And now if we come down into the bases, we can see we have access to all of our bases, but we actually need to create a base to store everything in. So if I come back into Airtable, come out of the Builder Hub, I can go ahead and I can click create. And what we're going to do is we'll just build a base from scratch. We can go ahead and call this onboarding. And of course, you can put as much or as little detail as you want inside of here. We can just go ahead and call this leads. We can have this be name. We can store their first name. We can have notes be kind of like client needs, and that'll be the needs that they filled in. And we can go ahead and we can just duplicate this field one more time. And we can go ahead and call this email. And then we'll just store their email address. You can have the assignee if you have assignees on your team. We can go ahead and delete this. We can delete any attachments. They haven't included any attachments, so we don't need any of these fields, right? I do like having a status because I think this is really helpful. So we can go ahead here and we can edit this and we can just say like new lead, right? And we can make this green or something like this. So as you get more and more complex, if you ever used a CRM before, you can go ahead and move this to the pipeline, like onboarded or whatever, right? So now that you know that they've like signed a contract, whatever, you can have your different stages in there. And so we can just select all. I'm going to delete all these records so we can start fresh. And so now if I come back into N8N and go ahead and go to base, I can go ahead and type in onboard, and already our little onboarding base has come in here. And table, I'm just going to go ahead and select table 1 because we actually didn't name it. And you can see here, this actually has our fields all set up. I can just go ahead and click execute previous nodes. And what I can do here is I can just drag in the client's full name, their client's email, and the client's needs. This is awesome. And if I click execute step here, I can do this. I can come back over into Airtable and you can see we've inserted Todd Frank into our CRM. Really, really easy. It has his name, has his email, and it has the client needs. Excellent. So in under 10 minutes, you now know how to create a client onboarding automation anytime a meeting is booked on your calendar. But let me show you how we can take this one step further and actually create a personalized welcome email. We're just going to do this simply using ChatGPT. And why don't we just go ahead and build this off the back of this Airtable record? One thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and let's duplicate this field. And I'm just going to go ahead and call this welcome email, just so we have it. And one thing I forgot to do inside of this create a record is for the status, we want to make sure we select new lead here. So that now if we go ahead and we create this, We can see here we now inputted it as a brand new lead. So I'll just delete the first record. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to create our welcome message template, and I'm going to use ChatGPT inside of N8N to create the message itself. I'm going to click the plus here. I'm going to go ahead and type OpenAI. What we're going to do here is we want to message a model. It's really, really easy to connect N8N to OpenAI. You just want to come over to platform.openai.com. You can log in to your account or create one if you don't have one. So I've signed in here, and all you do is you come over to settings, you go into API keys on the left, and you click create new secret key. And we can just call this October 11th because that's the date today. Select a project, the default project is fine. Click create secret key. I can copy this, I can come back into N8N. I can go ahead and click create new credential. I can name this the same, October 11th, paste in the key, and you literally don't need anything else. I can go ahead and click save. All you want to do is make sure you have billing set up inside of platform.openai so that they can actually charge you because, of course, they're going to charge you. So all we want to do is message a model. And what I'm going to do here, first, I'm going to choose a model from the list. This is a really small ask, so I'm literally just going to use 4.1 mini, which I think is a great use for this. And I just want to add a system message down here. So I have a user message and I have a system message. The system message is how I want ChatGPT to behave, and the prompt or the user message is what I want it to do. You can think of the prompt like typing in the little chat box inside of ChatGPT, which I'm actually about to do right now. So I'm just going to go over to chatgpt.com and I'm just going to say, I need a 2 to 4 sentence welcome email template for a new client onboarding message. I'm just going to go ahead and type that off. And again, you can obviously, of course, adjust this to you, but this is great. Okay, welcome aboard, client's name. We're excited to have you. Your onboarding starts now. We'll confirm your details, set up your workspace, and get you moving toward results fast. Keep an eye on your inbox for next steps. Okay, something like that is great, right? They've already booked a call for you. And why don't we just change this? We can say they've already booked a call with us. So let's just confirm that and tell them we're looking forward. The more context you can give ChatGPT, the better. Your spot is confirmed. We're looking forward to connecting and learning more about your goals, et cetera, et cetera. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this to create a system prompt. So we're going to say, I now need a system prompt for an AI agent. The agent will receive the client's first name and any of their business needs. And we want to draft a personalized message to them. Cool, so now we have the system prompt. You are a professional client onboarding assistant. Your task is to write a short personalized message for a new client. You're going to give the client's first name, a description of their business goals, et cetera, et cetera. Cool, and then they give this little example. Hey, Sarah, thanks for booking your call. Excited to connect and explore how we can streamline your content workflow with automation. Talk soon. Perfect, super simple. So now I'm just going to copy this, come back into N8N, paste this in the system prompt. Awesome. Now I'm going to come over here into our actual user prompt, and what I'm just going to do is say client first name, and I'm going to say client needs. And now I can come in here, and if we go into the set data, we can even copy it from here if we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and come back here to the first name. Great, and the client needs are going to come from set data, and I'm going to drag these in here. And you can see these are the dynamic variables that will change every time there's a client, and this is actually what the system receives. So now if I go ahead and I click execute step, ChatGPT is going to get to work, and in like half a second, hey Todd, thanks for booking your call. Looking forward to diving into some sweet automations that can really boost your workflow. Talk soon. So that's funny because obviously we said we have some sweet automation needs. So perfect. From there, you can connect this to Gmail if you want it and just send this message immediately. You could store this back inside of Airtable if you wanted to. I have a video, I'll link it up here, that shows you exactly how to connect N8N to Google Drive, Gmail, Google Sheets, Google Docs, everything. It's literally 5 minutes if you want to watch that. For now, we're just going to go ahead and do Air for Airtable. I'm going to go ahead and click Update a Record. And now what I'm going to do is go back to the base and find our little onboarding base. Onboarding, Table 1. And here we want to just match the record ID to our creator record from earlier. So we're going to drag the ID in here. We don't need to change anything else. All we need to do is just pull in this welcome email from here. And our status, we can keep this. And what we can do actually is we can just delete all these other fields because we're not going to make any changes to these. So now if I click execute step, I can come back in here and you can see we have our welcome email populated. So if I open this up, we now have the client's name, the client's needs, their email, and the welcome email all drafted for them, as well as a new status for new leads so that we can begin to move them through our CRM pipeline. If you thought this video was helpful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get access to the workflow that we built today, just check the link in the description. I'll see you inside the build room.